Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my video today on Rainbow Six Siege Year 4 Season 1 Burnt Horizon Update. This is quite a hefty patch. In fact, it came in at 49.5 gigabytes for me on PC.
Blimey, I can't wait all day.
I'm not sure about the console sizes and I couldn't be bothered to look them up because it's console and who cares.
Piss off!
Just kidding, I love you really.
Cease fire!
Anyway, so we've had a big hefty patch today and there's a lot of bug changes. Of course, a new map, 2 new operators, and I just wanted to go through some of the changes today, as I think some of them are really good, and there's a lot of good bug fixes in there as well. And I'll overlay some footage in the background of me playing probably very badly on the new content. Burnt Horizon is set in the land of Down Under. G'day mates, that was a terrible accent, never doing that again. Anyway, we're set down in Australia at a petrol station in the Outback, and there's 2 new operators, both of course from Australia, Gridlock and Mozzie. Now, if you're a season pass holder, of course you get these straight away, otherwise you have to wait 7 days where you can then buy them with Renown or R6 credits. So let's have a look at the loadouts. Looking first at Gridlock, the new attacking operator, she uses an F90 and an M249 for her primary. Her secondaries are a super shorty shotgun and the SDP 9mm with a breach charge or smoke grenade. She's a low speed and a tier 3 armor. Her gadget is the track stingers, and because we're in the land down under, they've kind of reversed things a little bit. So this is an interesting mechanic for an attacker, because normally attackers don't really have much in the way to deal with roamers other than say Jackal with his footsteps and such. But with the track slinger, you basically are throwing down not quite the floor mat like Frost has, but you throw down some spikes and they spread out over time. Once you deploy her track stinger gadget, it can take up a rather large area, so pretty much an entire stairwell across like the width, and pretty much across the entire corridor as well, to quite a large section. So it's going to cause a lot of problems for anyone that wants to roam or any defenders who've gone a bit too far out and have to come back towards the objective. You know, if you can get in the objective and hold it and put these down to stop them getting back in the room or near the area, it's going to be a very effective way of dealing with that. So it's a really interesting flip-flop from a normal, typically sort of defender-style gadget onto the attacking side to really cause some problems for the defenders who might have strayed a bit too far. One slight point of contention, which may be a little bit annoying, is that Jaeger's gadget that can shoot grenades and things like that, it can't actually deal with Gridlock's track stingers. It will just completely ignore it, has no effect. So if you want to stop this thing deploying, well, shoot it while it's deploying and it will minimize how many spikes it outputs. From the gameplay trailer they released, you can actually see how useful this gadget will be for the attackers, as you can make holes in floorboards and throw it through, throw it into a room, and they cover such a large area. They're a real big problem, especially if you manage to throw it into a defender's room from above through the floor hatches, or you know, just generally through the hole in the floor you made anyway. It just seems like a really useful gadget, and this is probably going to annoy a lot of defenders a lot of the time. So this gives Gridlock an interesting choice to make, and a bit of a balanced decision here. So does she keep hold of her spikes as she throws down for, say, the defender's last objective, where there might be a few held out and they want to exert some more pressure? Or perhaps, do you throw it quicker to try and stop someone flanking behind you or any roaming? So you're going to have to kind of balance between which you want to do. Do you want to put some pressure on near the end of the round in the last objective room, or protect yourself? It's going to make for some interesting gameplay choices. Next up, we have our defending operator, Mozzie. He joins with a primary of P10 Roni and the Commando 9. And for secondaries, he has a super shotty also and the SDP 9mm as well. For gadgets, he has barbed wire and nitro cell, and he's also 2 speed and 2 armor. In true flip-flop style again, with a Vegemite sandwich and upside down world, they have a pest launcher. And what Mozzie does with this is kind of turns the attackers' drones against themselves. So pest launchers fire, you guessed it, the pests, and these are 4-legged bots that can be used to capture a single drone or deployed into an area to prevent access by a drone. Basically, when it launches, it latches onto the nearest enemy drone and obscures its camera, then initiates an override sequence to hack the drone and give the control to Mozzie. Now, you can also throw this on walls or a bit near a drone hole, and if a drone goes through it, the gadget sees it and jumps onto it. It has like a small radius around it, which I'll show you as well while I'm talking about this. And it looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. And of course, once he's captured the drone, he can then turn it against the attackers and use it against them instead. The classic betrayal. And yes, this does work with Twitch drones. Beware attackers, you're going to get zapped by your own friend. A couple of things to note here with the pest launcher. any drones that Mozzie captures cannot go outside the typical defender's bounds. So if it goes outside, he has a couple of seconds for us to get the drone back inside, or the drone is lost, not only to him, but also to the attackers. Another cool thing here is that the attackers will only know the drone has been captured by looking at it directly. Where drones normally have a red light, captured drones by Mozzie will have a blue light instead, so if they keep their eyes peeled, they might just notice a drone that has switched sides. The defenders, however, will see an outline to sort of indicate that this one is actually friendly to them and not to shoot it or destroy it. Guaranteed they will still though, just saying. Also to note is that IQ can see the gadgets on her device as you would expect, and help perhaps rule out some of the traitors. And of course, the lovely Decabi with a hacking can actually take a drone that you captured back. So she can hack and steal back the drone you stole from her. Crikey! Launching with our 2 new operators from Down Under is a map from the very land of Down Under called Outback. This is the 21st map to release to the game, and they said it was actually inspired by fan favourites Oregon and Clubhouse. The map's description is stated as divided into 3 distinct sections: the garage, the motel and the restaurant, with a bit of an effort put in to make sure you can recognise them each with their own sort of colour scheme in each area. I for one am very glad that they've gone back to the more old style where they said they're inspired by the Oregon and Clubhouse. I became quite tired of the large newer maps where they've got so many rooms, it's confusing, I never really know where I am. Even when I put quite a lot of time to the new maps, I still feel a bit lost at times. So I'm very glad they're returning to a more original style, a bit smaller, close combat, you know, a bit more, I'd like to say memorable and a bit more distinguishable from each section. Another new thing to the game is the creation of the Newcomer playlist. So this is for players below level 50, so they can try out on the classic maps Bank, Consulate and Chalet bomb mode to try and learn the basics of the game in a more newcomer friendly playlist. Now obviously there's going to be smurfs and stuff, but for the most part that should mean they get a much better chance to learn the game than just playing casual, for example. The new ranked playlist is also now Bank, Clubhouse, Oregon, Cafe, Consulate, Chalet, Border, Coastline, Skyscraper, Villa, Hereford, Theme Park, Fortress and Outback. With all of those maps of course being available in the casual playlist, as well as the addition of House, Plain, Favela, Canal, Yacht and Tower. Now I mentioned Newcomer is for players under level 50, they've also adjusted the ranking system here where now you have to be a high level in order to play ranked. So the required minimum level was 20, that's now been raised to 30. So this is apparently meant to encourage beginners to take the time to learn the game properly in the Newcomer playlist and then play some more in casual before they go into rank play and ruin it for everybody else. Now with this patch is also a lot of changes and bug fixes, and there's quite a lot to go over, so I'm not going to go over them all, just some of the more key things. And one of the big ones they state is about gameplay, where the lean spam camera placement has been adjusted slightly. So previously camera placement at full lean kind of allowed people to fire without exposing themselves too much, so as part of the fix to that, they've shifted the camera position to the centre of the head rather than the far side of the head, so you'd have to lean out a bit further to get more of a clear view. This should help mitigate some of the peak advantage that you currently get if you are leaning out ready, especially as they are less exposed than you probably should be. A couple of balancing here to operators as well. We've got Capital has actually been reverted back to how he was in Wind Bastion. So they did some buffs and changes, and apparently this is a bit too strong. So from the feedback they've decided we're just going to revert back to how it was and reassess and try again later. And Dokabi, her hang up time on the phone has changed from 18 seconds down to 12. So to stress, this isn't when a defender tries to hang up the phone call, this is actually how long it lasts when you just don't touch it at all. Instead of lasting 18 seconds, it now lasts 12 if you never interact with the phone. One of the more mixed reception changes they have made is to Ash on Ash Wednesday. They've removed the ACOG site from the R4C. Sad times, but I guess it was kind of strong, that's why everyone's so upset about it. They've reduced the damage per tick from Legion's goo mines as well, from 8 down to 4, which I'm really glad about because I felt like just a real pain in the ass. And the time to switch between his torch and his weapons for Maverick has been increased as well. They also removed the muzzle brake from the machine pistol for Clash, so I'm sure she'll be happy about that and won't be shouting for once. Oh wait, that's all she does.
Asshole!
And now players rejoice, the crouch and lean spam problem that cropped up recently has been resolved. Well, they hope. So they've identified a way that they can sort of stop spamming crouch and lean commands, where currently the play animations allow players to snap from left to right as well as crouching without going through the actual full animation for the action. So they've deployed a fix which hopefully mitigates that problem, hopefully fully for good. As I said earlier, there is a lot of bug fixes in this patch, so I'm not going to go over them all. But some of the most noteworthy ones are a fix of frag grenades and not destroying barricades, spamming the crouch button things, ACOG sights not aligning correctly where bullets land, and ambient sound being a lot louder than what it's supposed to be. There's also quite a lot of fixes for the shield operators, which you'll probably like if you found yourself getting shot in the leg when you didn't feel your leg was visible, so look out for those in the patch notes, which again I'll post in the description. It's just a quick, rapid, sort of lazy video, honestly. Just trying to get some details out there and get used to creating some content. If you like the video, do give it a like and let me know in the comments, you know, anything you have thought-wise on the patches, if you like the changes, what you think of the new operators and such, and the map. I'd love to hear your thoughts and get into discussion about it. All my links for socials are in the description below if you want to check it out and keep more up to date on the channel and help support me. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next video very soon. Thanks, guys. See you later.